And for handout number 4, I wanted to give a little more instruction for you guys just because handout number 4 is obviously the most amount of probably work and reading out of all of the stations, and I just wanted to give you a little bit more instruction. For you, you're going to read aloud the Gettysburg Address with your group members, and you're going to alternate who reads every other page. So, or not every other page, every other paragraph, which means obviously I want you guys to all take turns reading, not just have one person do it. Don't just read it by yourselves. I think you'd really benefit if you all took turns reading out loud, so you all had time to read and time to listen to others. I wanted to emphasize the point that obviously this corner has the most intensity with the amount of text, so I don't want you to totally understand the Gettysburg Address. I want you to just kind of be introduced to it because there's a lot of language and stuff. Like Abraham Lincoln doesn't speak how we speak today, so I understand that's a little bit more complicated than probably the other corners. But for your handout, you're gonna fill out a chart which asks you to find 2 key words and 2 key phrases and 5 key words which describe the war, the battle, and the North's motivations. So yeah, like the 5 words, for example, if you found the word brave, which is describing the soldiers, you're going to write that in your handout, which looks like this. So for your first word, if you wrote the word brave, and then you would just put next to it this describing the soldiers, or just other words like that. Just 5 keywords you think describes either the soldiers, how people were feeling then, or just the North, like motivating words, I guess. And then for the phrases, I don't want them to be big, huge chunks, just like maybe like a part of a sentence or a sentence that you felt was super important. And just write that sentence down, but I want you to talk in your groups about why you picked those. And then you can just give a couple summary sentences why you picked those as well. If you don't get through all of this, that's okay, because we're going to spend another day in class kind of really diving deeper into the Gettysburg Address, as well as another major accomplishment, Abraham Lincoln's. Today's just kind of getting you introduced to the Gettysburg Address. Okay, so then after I kind of introduced all of this to kids, I'd split them into groups and give them time to work at each corner. But after they're all done with that, the gallery walk, we would come back together and have kind of a class-wide discussion. So let's talk about what we discovered at the corners today. I want to take this time to give you a chance to kind of talk with the rest of the class, not necessarily your answers as to what you wrote, but just like, what did you find the most surprising? What did you learn that you didn't know before? Did you find anything upsetting? Is there something you think we should spend more time discussing in class as a whole? Or do you have any thoughts and opinions regarding the information you found today? And then for their exit ticket, I would have them do some sketch noting, which I kind of thought would be a cool idea to do with this, just because it kind of split evenly into 4 groups. So for your exit ticket today, in your journals or on a blank sheet of paper, you're going to draw 4 things which represent either some of Abraham Lincoln's accomplishments or events which you learned about in today's class. One of the sketches should be one of Abraham Lincoln's accomplishments, but then the other 3 can be anything that you learned today. And underneath each one of your images, I want you to write like just a brief sentence or a brief paraphrasing of what that image is that you drew. And if you don't finish this by the end of the class, you can wrap it up and add color to it at home if you really want. And for the future, I wanted to just take this time to remind you guys that to wrap up the unit, we're going to have a final project that includes technology, either like a video, a brochure, a PowerPoint, blog post, whatever you guys will get to decide on that, regarding important generals during the war. And if you're assigned, you're all going to be assigned generals. And if you're assigned a general that goes with the North, you're going to talk about the North's accomplishments. And if you're assigned a Southern general, you're going to talk about the Southern accomplishments.